Hey warrior, imagine waking up tomorrow with complete control over every word you speak, every emotion you feel, every dollar you spend, and every thought in your mind. Sounds impossible, right? But over 2,000 years ago, a man believed this was not only possible, but the only true path to living a genuinely free life. His name was Epictetus, born into slavery. Think about that. No control over his own body, no freedom to move, no voice in his circumstance. He belonged to someone else. Yet this man discovered an inner power that transformed him from a physical slave into one of the greatest teachers on freedom of spirit and emotion. He taught that no one can harm you unless you allow it. At first, that sounds harsh, especially to those genuinely suffering. But what he meant is, while we can't control everything happening around us, we always have control over how we respond. And within that response lies our true strength. Today, most of us aren't chained physically, but many remain captive to careless words, uncontrolled emotions, reckless spending, and runaway thoughts. We speak words we later regret. We let a bad mood ruin an entire day. We buy things we don't need because temptation won, and we let our minds spiral into fear, doubt, and worry. But what if I told you that the wisdom freeing an ancient Roman slave can free you too? What if the very things you feel most powerless over, your words, moods, money, and mind, are your greatest sources of strength? The Stoic philosophers long ago grasped what we often forget today. True wealth isn't measured by money. It's measured by your ability to master yourself. Real power isn't about controlling others. It's about commanding your own mind. And true freedom isn't having endless choices, but having the discipline to make the right choices every single day. Life constantly offers you chances to practice this. Someone cuts you off in traffic. That's your moment to master your words and mood. You feel tempted to buy something unnecessary. That's your chance to control your spending. Your mind starts circling fear or doubt. That's when you take charge of your thoughts. The beauty of Stoic wisdom is it doesn't demand perfection. Even Marcus Aurelius, Rome's most powerful man, struggled with these challenges. In his journal, he reminded himself daily, you control your mind, not external events. Grasp this truth, and you find your power. This lesson isn't about becoming cold or indifferent. It's about becoming so grounded within yourself that the chaos outside can't shake you. When you master your words, you speak with intention, not impulse. When you command your mood, you choose your emotional state instead of letting it control you. When you manage money wisely, it becomes a tool for peace, not stress. And when you govern your mind, you become the author of your thoughts, not their prisoner. In the next few minutes, you'll dive deeper into these 4 pillars of personal power. Together, we'll unlock ancient wisdom more relevant today than ever, giving you practical tools to apply immediately. But the key is commitment. Each part builds on the last. So don't skip ahead. Stay with me through every step. And I promise this journey can change your life. If you're ready to reclaim control, hit like now. Comment below which of the 4 M's challenges you the most. And don't forget to subscribe. This path to self-mastery is just beginning. Share this video with someone who needs it, because true power starts with you. Leave this affirmation in the comments. I am the master of my words, mood, money, and mind. First, Mastering your words, the gateway to wisdom. There's an old saying, the tongue, though small, can cause immense damage. But what many don't realize is, words don't just harm others. Every word you speak is shaping or destroying the person you're becoming. Seneca, one of Rome's greatest Stoic philosophers, spent years observing words' power in the Roman Senate. He saw careers built and ruined by mere words, friendships shattered by careless speech, alliances forged through thoughtful communication. But his deepest lesson came from within himself. Every new beginning comes from the end of another beginning. Seneca wrote, "This rings especially true for our words. Each time you speak, you close one version of yourself and open another. The question is, are you becoming a man you respect? Recall the last time you spoke in anger and instantly regretted it. In that moment, you experienced the power of uncontrolled speech, words unleashed before wisdom could intervene. Now imagine if you could reclaim that power. What if every word you spoke was chosen deliberately, not uttered unconsciously?" The Stoics developed a simple but profound habit, pausing before speaking. Before speaking, especially in emotional moments. They pause and ask themselves 3 questions. Is it true? Is it helpful? Is it kind? If the answer to any is no, they remain silent. But mastering speech isn't just about holding back negativity. It's about using positive words with clear intention. When you sincerely praise someone, you do more than brighten their day. You train yourself to recognize the good in the world. Speaking words of encouragement programs your mind to seek opportunity rather than problems. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his journal, "Be like a rock that the relentless waves crash upon. It stands firm, while the waters around it remain calm." Your controlled words can serve as that rock for others. In a world of quick reactions, your voice becomes a source of peace and strength. Here's a practice to deepen your relationships in just 7 days. Before speaking in any emotional situation, take 3 deep breaths. On the first, ask yourself what you're feeling. On the second, consider what the other person might be feeling. On the third, choose words that will benefit everyone involved. The true power of controlling your speech is the positive feedback loop it creates. When you speak with intention, others respond differently. They listen more closely, trust more deeply, and seek your counsel. This isn't manipulation, it's the natural result of becoming someone worthy of being heard. But the greatest strength in mastering your words lies in your relationship with yourself. Every time you keep a spoken promise, you build self-trust. Every time you speak positively about yourself, you reshape your self-image. Every time you refuse gossip or complaint, you redirect your mental energy to what you can control. Remember, words don't just express thoughts, they shape them. When you consistently speak with possibility, gratitude, and wisdom, your mind naturally follows those patterns. You become what you repeatedly say. Your mouth is the gateway between your inner world and the outer one. Command that gateway, and you control a 2-way flow of energy. Tomorrow, we'll explore how this principle applies to your emotional world. For now, hold this affirmation close and repeat it daily. I speak with power, not impulse. Number 2, I master my mood. I am the weather system within my mind. Imagine waking each day with the power to decide the climate inside you. Some days, that choice is a raging storm of anger. Others, a fog of sadness. And if you're lucky, a radiant joy. This is how many live, completely ruled by external circumstances. But here's the revelation that changed everything for me, and what the Stoics discovered over 2 millennia ago. You are not a victim of your emotions. You are their creator. Viktor Frankl, the psychologist and Holocaust survivor, endured years in Nazi concentration camps amid unimaginable horror. He uncovered a profound truth, echoing ancient Stoic wisdom. Between stimulus and response lies a space. In that space is our power to choose how we react. Within that choice lies our growth and freedom. Reflect on that space now, as you hear these words. That space exists within you, between every stimulus and emotional reaction. It's a moment, sometimes fleeting, where you hold full control. The Stoics named this the discipline of desire. This discipline isn't about wanting less. It's about wanting what you have and accepting what you cannot change, while steadfastly working on what you can. When you master this, your mood becomes like a finely tuned instrument. You play not a wild storm playing you. This truth may surprise you. Your emotions are not facts. They're your interpretations. When someone doesn't reply to your message right away, the situation is neutral. Your mind may spin a story that they're ignoring you, angry, or indifferent. But what if you created a different story? What if they're busy, their phone is dead, or preparing something special for you? Marcus Aurelius practiced this daily. He wrote, "You have control over your mind, not external events. Recognize this, and you will find strength." Each morning, he reminded himself that the day would bring challenges, difficult people, and surprises. But instead of fear, he saw these as opportunities to practice emotional mastery. Try this powerful exercise now. Think of something recently troubling you. Now ask yourself, what story am I telling myself about this situation? Then ask, is there another way to interpret it? Finally, which interpretation serves me best? The magic happens when you realize you are the author of your emotional experience all along. You just hadn't recognized that you were writing the story. But mastering your emotions is not about fake positivity or pretending everything is fine. It's about choosing responses that make you stronger instead of drained. When anger rises, don't suppress or explode. Use it as fuel for positive change. When sadness hits, don't drown in it. Let it connect you to compassion and empathy for others. The Stoics have a powerful habit called evening reflection. Each night, they review their day and ask, what emotions did I experience which helped me, which controlled me? How can I respond better tomorrow? This is the beginning of mastering your emotional discipline. Fear of your emotions fades because you know you can handle them. You stop avoiding tough situations because you trust your ability to navigate feelings. You become a calm center in the storms of others that makes you invaluable at work and in relationships. Remember, every feeling you have is information, never a command. Anger signals something deeply important to you. Fear warns you to pay attention. Sadness reminds you of a loss. But no emotion gets to decide for you. Your mood is like an inner weather system. Like a skilled meteorologist, you can learn to predict, prepare for, and even influence the climate inside your mind. Type below if you're ready to take charge of your emotional world. I control my emotions. They don't control me. Number 3, mastering money. The tool of freedom. Money reveals more about who you are than most things in life. It's not just currency, it's energy. time, and the choices you've made crystallized. How you manage money determines whether you live free or become a slave to your desires. Seneca was one of Rome's wealthiest men. Yet he wrote, "Poverty doesn't come from having little, but from craving more." For him, this wasn't philosophy. It was a way of life. Despite immense wealth, he regularly challenged himself, sleeping on the floor and eating simply to remind himself that happiness doesn't depend on luxury. Here's a hard truth many don't want to hear. If you can't control your spending, you can't control your life. Every purchase brings you closer to freedom or closer to bondage. There's no middle ground. But mastering money isn't about penny pinching or giving up joy. It's about aligning spending with your values, using money as a tool, not being owned by it. When you buy out of boredom, sadness, or to impress, money is using you. When you spend on things that truly add value or help you serve others better, you are in control. Stoics practice a principle called preferred but not essential good to have, but never the source of your worth or happiness. Money belongs here. It's better to have it, but never let it be your master. Think about your last impulse, buy. Chances are, that item is sitting unused somewhere in your home. In that moment, what were you really trying to buy? Were you after a feeling, status, comfort, excitement, or acceptance rather than the object itself? This exercise will change how you relate to money forever. Before making any unnecessary purchase, pause and ask yourself, what am I truly trying to buy here? If the answer is an emotion or experience, find a way to get that feeling without spending first. Often, you'll realize you don't need the item at all. Mastering money isn't just about control, it's about creating real value. The Stoics believe in contributing to the greater good. When you focus on serving others through your work, money becomes a natural byproduct, not the primary goal. This shift in mindset transforms how you earn and spend. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you wake up in the morning unwilling, remember this: I am waking up to do the work of a human being." When you see your job as service rather than just a paycheck, you perform better, and that leads to greater financial rewards. This mindset shift changed my financial life completely. I started tracking not just where money went, but how I felt after every purchase. What I found surprised me. Purchases that brought lasting satisfaction aligned with my values, books that expanded my mind, time with loved ones, tools that helped me serve better. Impulse buys for status or ego left me empty or regretful. This simple habit gave me clarity no budget system ever did. Mastering money also means knowing the difference between assets and liabilities. Every dollar you spend should either maintain your earning power or increase your ability to serve others. When you adopt this mindset, wealth builds naturally instead of just being spent. Remember, the goal isn't hoarding money. It's having enough freedom to be generous, take risks, and make decisions based on what's right, not just what you can afford. Number 4, mastering the mind. Your command center. Your mind is like a garden. Every thought you hold on to is a seed you plant. The question is, what harvest do you want to reap right now? As you listen to me, thousands of thoughts are competing for your attention. Worries about tomorrow, regrets from yesterday, judgments about what you hear, plans for today. Most people live their entire lives as passive observers in the chaos of their minds. unaware that they have the power to choose which thoughts deserve their energy. Epictetus taught his students that true wealth lies not in owning many possessions, but in having few desires. Yet, he spoke of a richer kind of wealth than just material. He spoke of wealth within the soul. When you stop accepting every thought knocking on your consciousness, you become immeasurably rich in peace and focus. Consider this. You wouldn't let a stranger enter your home and rearrange your belongings. Yet you allow random thoughts to invade your mind and overturn your entire emotional state. A single negative thought can ruin your entire day if you give it permission to exist. The Stoic philosophers developed a method called prui, a vigilant awareness of the present moment and strict monitoring of one's thoughts. This is not meditation as we commonly know it today. Think of yourself as the guardian of your mind, deciding which thoughts are allowed in and which are denied. Entry. This is an exercise that can transform your life immediately. Over the next week, whenever you find yourself caught in a spiral of negative thinking, pause and ask, does this thought serve me or harm me? Does it bring me closer to the man I want to be, or pull me away? If it doesn't help, actively replace it with a more constructive thought. Mastering your mind isn't about toxic positivity or pretending problems don't exist. It's about choosing constructive thoughts over destructive ones. Instead of thinking, "This is terrible. There's nothing I can do," tell yourself, "This is a challenge, and I will find the best way forward." The same situation, but a completely different mental experience. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his journal, "The universe is ever-changing. Our life is the product of our thoughts." He understood that while he couldn't control the enemies of the Roman Empire, political conspiracies, or even his own fate, he held supreme power over the kingdom of his mind. Your mind constantly spins stories to explain meaning. Someone doesn't smile at you. Your mind fabricates rejection. Traffic jams arise. Your mind fears delay and chaos. The boss calls you in. Your mind assumes trouble, but the power is yours. You can rewrite those stories instantly. That person not smiling might be facing their own struggles. Heavy traffic becomes an opportunity to cultivate patience or listen to something valuable. The boss's summons could be good news. Ancient Stoics called this judgment discipline, the practice of separating facts from the narratives we tell ourselves about those facts. The fact is, it's raining outside. The story is, this rain is ruining my day. When you master this distinction, you become incredibly strong because your emotional state no longer depends on external circumstances. Try it now. Think of something stressful recently. Now separate the fact from the story you are telling yourself about that fact. You'll be surprised to learn most stress comes from the story, not the fact. Your mind is also a powerful problem solver when properly guided. Instead of letting it run wild with worry, give it specific problems to tackle. Instead of asking, "What if everything goes wrong?" ask, "What's the best way to handle this situation?" Your mind thrives on challenge, but needs clear direction from you. Remember, every thought you entertain either builds or breaks down the man you are becoming. You are crafting yourself moment by moment, day by day. Declare, "I am the architect of my mind, reclaiming my power." The years will compound this effect. When you take control, everything changes. A remarkable transformation happens when you master these 4 areas. They don't just improve individually, but create a ripple effect that transforms your entire life experience, like tuning a guitar. When one string is perfectly tuned, the others resonate more beautifully. When you master your words, people seek you out because your speech carries weight and wisdom. When you control your mood, you become a calm anchor. Others look for amid chaos. When you manage your finances, you gain freedom to make decisions based on values, not survival. And when you master your mind, you see opportunities where others see only problems. But the true magic happens in the space between these four pillars. I want to share a story about Sarah, a single mother who attended one of my workshops last year. She arrived overwhelmed, burdened by debt, often irritable with her children, worried about the future, trapped in negative thoughts that stole her sleep. 6 months later, Sarah sent me a message that brought me to tears. By applying these principles, she not only paid off her credit card debt, but also started a small side business. Her relationship with her children transformed completely because she learned to speak from love instead of frustration. But most importantly, she said she felt like herself again, calm, confident, and in control. The beauty of Stoic philosophy is that it sparks an upward spiral. Every small victory in one area fuels your strength to face challenges in another. When you control your words in anger, you prove to yourself that you can master your emotions too. Resisting an impulsive purchase exercises the same mental muscle that shields you from negative thoughts. Aristotle once said, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not a single act, but a habit. The Stoics took this further. They knew that mastering these four domains creates a powerful ripple effect. Daily practice doesn't just improve that day, it makes all the days ahead easier. Reflect on who you were 6 months ago. What struggles did you face? Now imagine who you could become 6 months from now if you commit to these principles. The gap between your present self and that better version is closer than you think, just small daily choices. Here's what I want you to grasp. You don't need to be perfect in all four areas at once. In fact, trying to do so often leads to frustration and giving up. Instead, pick the one area that resonates most with you right now and focus on it for the next 30 days. Let mastery in that field naturally spread to the others. The Stoics believed deeply in sympathia, the intimate connection between all things. The work you do within yourself benefits not just you, but everyone around you. When you control your speech, you reduce conflicts in relationships. When you master your emotions, you create peace at home. When you manage money wisely, you set a powerful example of financial responsibility for your children. Guiding your thoughts constructively turns you into a source of solutions instead of problems. But perhaps the most profound change is how mastery transforms your relationship with hardship. Instead of seeing challenges as something happening to you, you begin to view them as opportunities to practice self-control. Every difficult conversation becomes a chance to train your words. Each stressful moment is a moment to command your mood. Every financial decision is a lesson in money wisdom. Every worry is an opportunity to redirect your mental energy. Shifting your perspective from victim to practitioner changes your entire life experience. Comment below if you're ready to turn every challenge into strength. Each obstacle is a chance for me to grow stronger. Let us embark on this journey with Epictetus, who rose from physical slavery to spiritual mastery. His secret wasn't changing circumstances, but mastering himself within them. Today, you have the same choice. He did more than 2,000 years ago. You understand true freedom isn't having endless options, but always choosing wisely. You realize that words Mood, money, and wisdom aren't isolated areas. They are pillars that either support or undermine your growth. But what I want you to remember most is this. It's not about being perfect. It's about being intentional. Each time you pause before speaking, you're training mastery over your words. Every time you choose how to respond to discomfort, you're strengthening control over your mood. Every purchase aligned with your values builds financial wisdom. Every negative thought you redirect reinforces your mental sovereignty. The ancient Stoics faced war, plague, political upheaval, and personal tragedy. Their lives were far from easy, but they held something more valuable. They possessed unshakable inner strength, born from mastering these four essential domains. That strength awaits you now. Your transformation begins with a single decision to take responsibility for your inner world. Not because life is fair, it's not. Not because it's easy, it's not. But because you deserve to live as the master of your experience, not a victim of circumstance. 6 months from now, you will either be the same man with the same struggles or someone who has learned to live with wisdom, purpose, and inner strength. The choice is entirely yours. And the moment to decide is now. Remember Epictetus's words. No one can hurt you without your permission. Today, you withdraw that permission. Today, you begin the journey from reactive outbursts to deliberate responses, from chaos to control, from slavery to freedom. The 4 pillars of mastery await you. Your future self is counting on you, and somewhere in eternity, the ancient Stoic philosophers are cheering you on. Take the first step. Start today. Start now. If this message speaks to you, hit like, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Write your commitment in the comments and subscribe for more life-changing lessons. The journey to mastery begins here. Leave your final affirmation in the comments. Today, I choose mastery over mediocrity, intention over reaction, and freedom over being a slave to circumstance.